Hey everybody, John here with the Stroke Sweat Squad outside your comfort zone with the 30-day challenge for the arm and or for the shoulder and arm, hand or shoulder hand, arm hand. How are you gonna put it? This is day 3. Yeah, day 3. So first off, we're gonna do is we're gonna do the stretching. So again, you want to do get next to the wall. If you need to put a chair by you, which I'll do it here, just let me get this down just a little bit more. I got a chair sitting right here. I'll put the chair by me for safety precautions. If you need to stabilize with. Make the half field goal post. And then in my case, I stretch into it this way. I actually turn away. A lot of people lean into the wall, but I turn away from the wall to stretch that shoulder blade into my spine. You do the same thing. Put your arm up higher. Lean into it a little bit. So you're pulling a stretch through here and through here. So you're a little bit away from the wall and you're leaning into it quite a bit. And the other one I do is I'll put my hand down low. Just put it on the wall and then try to turn away from it. Try to just stretch around the elbow to the forearm. So hold those for 20-30 seconds. Do several of those. You do it 2 or 3 times a day. Stretch them out will be great. Sorry I had to turn away from the camera a little bit. Maybe you didn't hear me clearly enough on that, but we'll go down and finish up the hand stretches, alright? There we are, back in the basement now to the hand stretches. So again, I do try to lay your fingers, stretch them out a little bit. You need to stretch your wrist out a little bit, stretch your wrist out a little bit. Get those tendons loosened up in your forearm right here, because this area right here is what moves your fingers. If you weren't aware of that, I mean, for the longest time I thought the same thing. Warm my hand out, my hand would work better, but then I realized it's all the tendons and muscles back here in your forearm that actually work your fingers. So, you know, stretch them out just a little bit, get them nice and smooth. Again, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my hand. If I lay my elbow down on the table and do this in a chair, and try to get the thumb out here. There it goes, thumbs out. Get the wrist to lay down a little more. Let's try this again. There we go. How far about here? No, we'll try to get the wrist to lay down. There we go. Get the wrist to lay down a little more too. So you have the fingers down, got the wrist to start to relax a little more down here. So you said day 3, this is already starting to work out pretty well. Some changes already because it was a little hard to push that wrist down the other day. Now I can just about get it down to stay. You're going to try to work with his fingers and let him just relax. Just sit here and just push pressure down to him and just let him relax. If you got to get right across the knuckles, it'd be the best thing to do. That's where they'll start to pop up from. If you sit there and do a couple deep breaths, just let things relax. Make sure you're not hurting your fingers. That's why I say put the towel down, because you move your hand around a little bit. Just let them relax a little bit, and then you see I'm not putting a lot of pressure down. Back up, starting to work on my hands. They're staying down quite a bit. If I move my arm out a little bit, they seem to stay down a little longer. And the other one's more or less standing up. I said you can use a towel roll if you need to. It's a simple hand towel with 2 rubber bands around it rolled up. I can take my hand here and lay it down here. Try to work down to get that pressure on that elbow, on that wrist, straight in the table. Do the weight bearing, send that information back to the brain saying, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lay flat. You're not supposed to be curling your fingers up. See if I can get this book to stay on there today. Be amazing if I get it done in three days worth. So Let's see if I can get these down. Put the weight on. Seems like the more weight you put on the wrists, the more your fingers will start to relax because you're stretching those tendons out throughout your forearm. Nope, not going to work on the book today. Maybe by the end of the week we'll get the book on there. The day 5 or 6 might have the book down there. But try to lean forward and put the weight on that. Make sure you lock out your elbow. If you need to get something to lock your elbow, have somebody hold it for you so you don't bend your elbow and fall. But you've also got your good arm, your non-affected arm right here, helping out with the weight bearing across the top of the fingers and just pushing them down. So you can see as I lift my hand up, my fingers are staying straight. My thumb is pretty weak or pretty relaxed. Fingers are really relaxed. So just keep working on it that way. Because the minute I put my fingers down, I'm good. The minute I put my wrist down, my fingers start to pull up a little bit because those tendons are a little bit tight still. So you want to try to send the message back to the brain to don't fire the fingers up. Just put pressure on the wrist and let it go up the arm, and we'll try this position. And then you're telling your brain to quit curling your fingers. So, all right, that's day 3. See my hands a little better, elbows a little quicker. Fingers are really relaxed. And again, if you have to, use a towel roll. Get it in your hand. If you're crunching it super tight, get a towel roll. Put the hand down, and still put the weight on the wrist. The fingers are going to be tight on this towel roll. It's not going to go anywhere. But you're able to you do the weight bearing on this arm. You got my unaffected hand on the top of this one. I'm not hurting my fingers because they're sort of half curled under, but there's a towel here to get them off the table, so I'm not hurting the fingers. And I can start working on trying to stretch that wrist out a little more. So, if you have to do it this way, that's great, but we're trying to work from this to not using this at all and going to here. Eventually just laying your hand down and let it lay flat. So, we'll keep working on it. We got 27 more days to do this, so we'll see what happens after 30 days. All right, you guys, we'll talk to everybody later. Thanks.